We are heading into the weekend, but not just any weekend. The 4th of July is a time when the nation usually celebrates with lots of fireworks and family gatherings. But COVID-19 has thrown a damper on those celebrations. In tonight's Focus on Mississippi, Walt Grayson has a story about what was perhaps the most somber 4th of July in Mississippi.
We are a nation with two birthdays. Coincidentally, both of them came on the 4th of July. In 1776, when the Continental Congress approved the Declaration of Independence, and again on July 4th, 1863, when the Civil War Confederate stronghold of Vicksburg surrendered to the Union, because for all practical purposes, the South couldn't win the war after that. And there's still some of the landmarks left leading up to that surrender, not only in the Vicksburg Park, but along the back roads down in southwest Mississippi. A lot of the battlefield where the main siege of Vicksburg took place is preserved in the Vicksburg National Military Park. The park came into being 30 years after the Civil War ended, when Congress was petitioned to preserve the main battlefield where the siege of Vicksburg had taken place. But there are bits and pieces of the rest of the trail, from where Union General Grant landed his army in Bruinsburg, west of Port Gibson, on up through Raymond and Jackson, past Champion Hill and the Big Black River, on to where his army encamped around Vicksburg for 47 days without allowing anyone in or out, effectively starving the city into surrender. And for those 47 days, cannon shelled the city from the land side on the east and the riverside on the west. Confederate General Pemberton realized the situation inside Vicksburg was hopeless, so he arranged to surrender the city to General Grant on the 4th of July, hoping to get some sort of advantageous terms in return for picking the national holiday as the day to give up the city to the Union. It didn't work. It was unconditional surrender. The Confederate Army that had been trapped inside the city, along with the civilians, was allowed to stack their arms and go home if they agreed not to join in with any more hostilities against the Union. And I'm sure some of them probably lived up to that. The exact site where the surrender took place is sort of out of the way. It's in between the lines of the Union and the Confederates, not too far from the entrance to the Vicksburg Park, but away from the more elaborate monuments and statues. But the size of the marker doesn't equate to the significance of the event. Scholars may debate whether the South could have hung on and won the war had Vicksburg not fallen, but there's no doubt that it couldn't after it fell. And this is the spot where our nation got its rebirth, on that other 4th of July in 1863, on a side road in the Vicksburg National Military Park. Because of the COVID pandemic, the Vicksburg Park is partially open. Now, you can get in and drive the loop through the park, but the visitor center and the restrooms and the Cairo Museum are still closed. And remember to practice social distancing.